I'm Richard Randall. Welcome back to The Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, many people witnessed the mortgage meltdown of 2008, 2011, and they assume this current market is heading for another real estate bubble. So, Barb, what do you think the current market conditions will bring into the future, and how will the rising interest rates affect this market?
Well, thank you, Richard. It's interesting because a lot of our kids were kind of teenagers when the mortgage meltdown took place. People lost some homes. It was a crazy time, and I don't, at least in my lifetime, I haven't seen anything like that exactly. And just to put it in perspective, what happened during the meltdown was not a normal market fluctuation. It was an anomaly that was caused by lenders giving out mortgages to people that could not qualify. It was really a government inflicted problem. And actually, at the time that it started, the average interest rate was 6.43%. Right now, we're just above 5. And what they were doing was they were giving out loans with these teaser rates of 1%. And the payment was very, very low. They were qualifying them on the low payment. And then 2 years later, when the interest rates adjusted, people's payments doubled overnight. Now, the average person cannot absorb that kind of expense overnight to have their payments doubled. And that's part of what caused this whole implosion. Then, of course, these mortgages were sold as securities through the stock market as really good loans when they really weren't. And it just caused a big problem kind of overnight. What's different now is by law, the lenders are legally on the hook to make sure that when they qualify a borrower for the loan, they have to prove that they can actually afford the payments, not based on the teaser rate, but based on a future rate if it's adjustable. And nowadays, most people are not getting adjustable rate mortgages. The other factor that plays into this, which was really surprising to me when I did my research, that homes are actually, even with these high prices, more affordable now than they were during the 2006 housing boom. Can you believe that, Richard?
Amazing to me. I would never have believed that.
I never would have either, because the prices have pretty much doubled since then. But it's about buying power. It's about income versus payment. And basically, there's 3 factors that go into this. It's called the Real House Price Index. And basically, I got this from a title company, and they did a survey of all 50 major markets. And they discovered they looked at income, the median household income, current interest rates, and housing prices. And what they discovered was the median household income has increased just since January of last year of 5%. And since January of 2000, almost 70%. That's a lot. That's a lot of income increase. Okay, and interest rates, while the housing prices have increased, the buying power has also increased along with the increase in income. Did I explain that? Does that make sense, Richard?
I think it does. Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, and so they've had a long run of low mortgage rates. So the fact that they're going up right now a little bit, it doesn't matter that much. They're still more affordable than they were back just before the meltdown. So while unadjusted housing prices are now 46% above what they were in 2006, the actual buying power remains about 30% below what it was in 2006. So what does that tell you? That tells you that we still have some room for market values to go up, for prices to go up. And with the millennial generation stepping into buying homes right now, many of them are in their mid to upper 30s, they're getting good jobs. They can afford it. So rates have gone up, yes, but don't worry about it. Over time, interest rates actually are not that bad. I went back and averaged interest rates over the past 5 decades, and it was really surprising what I found out. 1972, they were at 7%. In the early 80s, that was just after the Carter years, they were up at 17%. Never seen it that high since. 92, it was 9%. 2002, it was 7%. 2012, it went down to just under 4%, and now it's about 5%. So we're still, as an average interest rate, below what the overall average for the last 50 years have been. So I think it's a great time to buy a piece of real estate. It's a solid asset that's going to go up in value. It's probably going to go up in value over the next few years faster than the rate of inflation. It's a great time to buy a house. And if you're moving, it's a great time to sell the house because you're going to maximize the amount of money that you get when you sell it. Richard?
You're listening to The Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And you can reach Barb always at 719-301-3900. If you're in your car, cannot listen to the whole show, you can catch Barb on her YouTube channel. That's Barb Schlinker, Schlinker. You can do that anytime. Barb Schlinker, spelled Schlinker. Barb, what are some of the other reasons why you think we are not headed for a real estate bubble the way we were back in the 8th and the 11th of this century, I should say?
Right. Well, I think the biggest issue is just basic economics, supply and demand. We're still in a low supply environment. Part of that has to do with the fact that the millennial generation, which is a very big generation, bigger than the boomers, are coming of age. They're buying homes, okay? And even the builders and the housing supply cannot keep up with the demand. So we have a low supply of homes, a high demand, relatively competitive interest rates compared to decades ago. And it's a good environment. So I want to read a couple of quotes to you from somebody that tracks all this data. They were tracking during the meltdown. I remember this guy's name. His name is Rick Sharga of Realty Track. And basically what he said was, the supply and demand imbalance is the primary reason home prices have escalated so rapidly. After not building nearly enough in the last decade, home builders will take several years at least to add enough supply to balance the market. So that tells me that we're still in a low supply environment, and probably prices are going to keep going up. Now, will they go up 25% a year? I don't know. I think as it balances out, the rate of appreciation will probably slow down a little bit, but it'll still be appreciating. That means real estate will still be a good investment. Here's another quote from Mr. Sharga that said, it's a helpful sign that new home construction climbed at an annual rate of 6.8% in February, the fastest growth since 2006. But the nearly 1.8 million new home starts are unlikely to put a dent in home prices. Can you believe that, Richard?
It's over and over again. You tell me things and I just sit here and say, wait, amazing. I never would have suspected or known that if it weren't for you and for this show.
Yeah, even Zillow's economist Nicole Bashad said, really, lending standards have gotten tighter because a lot of people worried about them getting more loosey-goosey, and credit scores for new mortgages are actually much higher than they were back in 2000. And what is much more likely is a gradual slowdown on the pace of price appreciation, right? So, okay, homes are still going to go up in value. That means they're a good investment for buyers. They're a great investment if you're selling. It's good news all around, in my view, for the market that I work in. And the good news also is that people getting these home loans are less likely to default, meaning have their mortgage go bad. And a lot of that has to do with the Dodd-Frank law that basically obligated the lenders to prove that they qualified for the loan. That's one thing. But the other thing too is they're more affordable. And it's probably more affordable and makes more sense than rent. The demographics definitely play a role. The millennial and then the Gen X generations, which are coming right behind the millennials. They're a larger generation. They actually represent almost 1/3 of the people buying homes right now. So all the predictions point to real estate continuing to be strong. And you know what? If you're thinking of making a move and you want to know what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale, that's one of the things that we specialize in. We can help home sellers no matter what your situation is. We have a cash offer program. We have a way to get you top dollar selling out to the market. We have all kinds of different strategies, even a guaranteed sale program that can help you. So you can either reach out to us on our website, barbhasthebuyers.com, or give us a call at 719-301-3900, and we would love to help you. Richard?
You're listening to The Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Really easy to remember, and it's true, barbhasthebuyers.com. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we will be discussing real estate agents' tactics to get you to sign on the dotted line. Stay tuned for that. You don't want to miss it right here on 740 KVOR.